There's a language being spoken all around you right now, but you can't hear it. It's not verbal. It's this silent code that secretly shapes your entire reality, influencing every single choice you make, every emotion you feel. Think of it like a hidden program, just running in the background of your mind. But what if I told you that you could learn to read that code and maybe even rewrite it?
It's a pretty chilling question, isn't it? The idea that your most private, internal thoughts might not be entirely yours, that they could just be the result of a system, a kind of programming you're not even aware of, a system that, well, some people have definitely learned to manipulate.
Look at this. This isn't some magic trick for a TV show. No, this is a real-world demonstration of a deeply powerful mental technology. This is exactly what happens when you understand the mind's hidden code. I mean, the ability to persuade a complete stranger to just hand over their wallet willingly in less time than it takes to tie your shoes. That's not magic. That's something else entirely. So, this hidden code, this power, it has a name. It's a set of techniques so potent, they're almost a guarded secret. It's called Neuro-Linguistic Programming. You might hear it called NLP. And tonight, we're going to crack it wide open. Okay, so let's break down the code. The first piece of the puzzle is neuro. This is all about the physical hardware of your mind. We're talking about that incredibly intricate network of neurons that fires off to create every single thought, feeling, and experience you've ever had. This is the very foundation your reality is built on. Next up, we have the linguistic part. Now, if your brain is the hardware, then language is the software. It's the code we use, not just to talk to other people, but to talk to ourselves. It's the main tool for getting in there and influencing that neural hardware. And this is where it all comes together. Programming. This is by far the most powerful part of the equation. See, NLP isn't just about understanding how the mind works. It's about actively getting in there and rewriting its code. It's about reconfiguring the very way you think and feel, and maybe even influencing the minds of others.
And don't think of this as some dusty, old academic theory. No way. Let's call it what it really is: brain hacking. A direct, modern, and honestly, a startlingly effective way to upgrade, modify, or enhance pretty much any aspect of your life you can think of.
All right, so now that we've decoded the language of the mind, it's time to open up the toolkit. We're going to pull back the curtain on 3 foundational techniques, 3 mind hacks that are really the core of this whole powerful practice. First up is a technique called anchoring. This is basically the ability to create emotional triggers on demand. I mean, imagine being able to capture a feeling of pure, uncut confidence, or intense joy, or deep calm, and then just save it for later, ready to be deployed whenever you want.
The idea of a bookmark is actually perfect. But you're not just bookmarking a page in a book, right? You're bookmarking a state of mind, a state of unshakable confidence, maybe, or a feeling of profound peace. And then, with just a simple, tiny trigger, you can open that book to that exact page instantly. So, how is it done? Here's the secret protocol. First, you think of a memory where you felt an emotion, powerfully. As that feeling of, say, intense confidence peaks, you create a unique physical trigger, like squeezing your thumb and forefinger together. You repeat this, you build the connection, forging a strong neurological link. Then, anytime you need that emotional boost, you just fire the anchor. It's like installing an emotional shortcut directly into your brain. Okay, the second tool in the secret arsenal is the swish. Now, if anchoring is about recalling emotions, swish is about rewriting them. It's an incredibly powerful technique for swapping out unwanted behaviors or feelings for much more desirable ones. Our source material describes this as a kind of neurological copy and paste. You're literally taking the positive feelings and associations from one memory and pasting them right over the negative ones of another. Just think about that, being able to transform your fear of public speaking into a feeling of excitement, or your tendency to procrastinate into a surge of pure motivation. So here's the process. You visualize the bad habit you want to get rid of, big and bright. Then you create this powerful, compelling image of the person you want to become. You place that desired image, small and dark, in the corner of the negative one. And then, in a flash, you literally say swish. The bad habit shrinks to nothing as the new, powerful image explodes to fill your entire mental screen. You're not just changing a habit here, you're rewriting your own identity. And our final core technique is something called framing. Think of this as your brain's emotional volume dial.
It gives you the power to control the emotional intensity of any memory you have, turning that volume way up or way down whenever you want. With this tool, you can take a really painful memory and just turn its emotional volume down until it's barely a whisper. Or you could take a cherished memory and amplify those positive feelings until they are unbelievably vivid and just all-encompassing. Suddenly, you are in complete control of your emotional landscape. The technique itself is deceptively simple. You take a negative memory and in your mind you put a frame around it like it's a picture on a wall. Then you just push that picture far, far away from you. You watch it shrink and you drain all the color out of it, make it black and white. By doing this, you're tricking your brain. You're emotionally detaching from the memory and weakening those painful neural pathways connected to it. So, you have the code. You have the toolkit. But what actually happens when you start to wield this kind of hidden power? Well, the implications, both for yourself and for everyone around you, are just staggering. On the one hand, you literally hold the key to radical self-transformation. You can use these techniques to build unshakable confidence, to crush lifelong fears, and to literally program yourself to become the person you've always dreamed of being. The potential for good is immense. But with great power comes, and this is where things get a lot more controversial. Because every single tool for self-improvement can also be used as a tool of influence. So what happens when you turn this power outward, towards other people? The author of our source material doesn't tiptoe around this at all. They address using NLP and seduction head-on with a really provocative stance. They flat out argue that it's not unethical because, in their view, all seduction is already a form of mind control anyway. So how do they justify this? Well, the argument is this. You can't use NLP to create desire where absolutely none exists. But, and this is the key, they argue you can use it to amplify ambiguity, to gently and almost invisibly guide someone who's on the fence right over to a yes. Here's the thing. Once you've seen the code, you can never unsee it. Once you understand these hidden secrets, the world will never, ever look the same to you again. Every advertisement, every political speech, every little conversation, it all takes on a new meaning. You start to see the patterns, the anchors, and the frames that are secretly shaping our reality all the time. And that leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. Now that you've had a peek behind the curtain, you have to ask yourself, who's running the programs in your mind? And now that you know the secrets, what programs are you going to choose to run?